technology that we have available in Formula One today is constantly evolving and has shaped the sport from the inside during the course of the 54 years that the sport exists officially. Only in Formula One, as the premier motorsport racing, do we see an almost perfect blend of high-speed racing and cutting-edge science, and that has helped the sport rise to heights that were simply unimaginable as early as the start of the 21st century. Currently, similar to its impact across various sectors, artificial intelligence is catalyzing a significant upheaval, revolutionizing not only car design and race performance, but also the overall fan experience. According to Christian Horner, the CEO of Oracle Red Bull Racing, data serves as the vital essence of the team's operations. He emphasizes that every aspect of performance, ranging from race strategies to car development and driver selection and analysis, is intricately tied to data-driven processes. Formula One is a sport driven by the relentless pursuit of technological advancements and innovation. F1 teams are in a perpetual quest for competitive edges over their rivals, turning the sport into a crucible for technological evolution and engineering breakthroughs. At the heart of much of this progress lies high-performance computing. The Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile, FIA, the governing body for global motorsports, is actively adapting to stay abreast of the latest technologies embraced by F1 teams. Simultaneously, fans are vocal about their desire for digital enhancements to deepen and enrich their F1 experience. Beyond being a premier arena for automotive innovation, Formula One's advancements are also contributing to the improvement and safety of vehicles at large. Today, we'll take an in-depth look at the technology and science behind Formula One, from tracing the evolution and how the engines evolved to the introduction of DRS, and we'll explain how aerodynamics work. We'll also take a look at the science behind the tyres, and we'll better understand what tyre grip actually means, as well as the evolution of safety, the introduction of the HANS device, and the halo. We'll end with reflecting on the ongoing tech evolution and how the sport strives to become eco-friendly within the next few years. So we hope you enjoy the video, and without further ado, let's get on with the science of Formula One racing. The first F1 cars, rooted in pre-war Grand Prix models, prioritised lightweight construction and high-revving engines. Typically supercharged, these vehicles featured narrow tyres and wire-spoked wheels. With aerodynamics taking a back seat, they boosted a high centre of gravity, making handling a challenge. A significant evolution occurred in the 1960s, marked by the adoption of monocoque chassis construction, rendering the cars lighter and sturdier. This advancement facilitated superior handling and enhanced safety. Engine capacity was capped at 1.5 litres, leading to the emergence of compact, high-revving engines with up to 4 valves per cylinder. Wings were introduced during this period to generate downforce and enhance high-speed handling. Initially mounted on struts above the car, they were later seamlessly integrated into the bodywork. The 1970s witnessed a focus on speed, with turbocharged engines gaining popularity. While these engines delivered greater power, they posed challenges due to the lag between accelerator input and engine response. Meanwhile, aerodynamics saw advancements with the advent of ground effect technology. By utilizing Venturi tunnels beneath the car, ground effect created a low-pressure zone, effectively suctioning the car onto the track and generating substantial downforce. It was the 1980s, however, when the turbochargers reached their golden era. Turbochargers in Formula One are not a recent phenomenon. Some of the most formidable and iconic Formula One cars emerged in the mid-1980s, boasting flame-spitting turbo engines that epitomized machismo and excitement. But what exactly fueled this phenomenon, and why did turbocharged engines dominate the F1 scene as they did. In essence, turbocharging involves the compression of denser air into engines to increase power output. This task is achieved through a turbocharger, a turbine powered by engine exhaust gases. The turbine propels a compressor that forces pressurized air into the inlet manifold. Consequently, the engine's cylinders receive a significantly higher mass of air during each intake stroke within the same space, resulting in heightened power upon ignition. During the early days of the turbo era, a general rule prevailed. A 1,500cc turbo engine equated to the power output of a 3,000cc naturally aspirated engine. This guideline spurred engineers to develop increasingly efficient and potent machines, rendering these powerhouses immensely popular. Jean-Pierre Jabouille, hailed as the father of the turbo era, introduced the Renault RS01 at the 1977 Silverstone GP after extensive testing. However, the journey was fraught with challenges. He struggled to secure a finish with his faltering RS01 until his seventh start. While turbocharged engines are revered for their remarkable speed and power, they were not without drawbacks, notably the lag, the delay between throttle input and turbo activation, a characteristic feature of all turbo cars. This lag was significantly mitigated with the introduction of twin-turbo engines in 1979. Less than 2 years after the debut of the first turbocharged vehicle, Jabouille clinched an historic victory at the Dijon-Prenois GP in France. It took time for Renault's rivals to catch up. The Ferrari V6 was showcased at the 1980 Italian Grand Prix, but didn't race until March 1981. BMW unveiled a turbo car in January 1982, followed by Honda and Alfa Romeo in the spring of 1983, and TAG Porsche in August of the same year. Despite their impressive credentials, all encountered teething issues. Turbo engines in qualifying trim boasted outputs of up to 1,000 brake horsepower or more. However, accurate readings were elusive, as most dynamometers capped at 1,000 or 1,100 brake horsepower. Extrapolating from this data, Paul Roche's BMW may have reached staggering outputs of up to 1,300 bhp. Murray recalls Nelson Piquet's strategy of aiming for the middle of the track and flooring it post-corner, even on tracks where large rear wings were standard. Porsche emerged as a master of turbo engine technology, propelling McLaren to consecutive titles from 1984 to 1986. The TAG Porsche chassis, although not the most potent in terms of horsepower, remains legendary, epitomizing the pinnacle of turbocharged F1 engineering. 1986 stands out as the only season in Formula One history where all cars were turbocharged. Normally, aspirated engines were entirely phased out, symbolizing the zenith of the turbo era. Teo Fabi's dominance at Monza and Oostenrijkring in his B186 underscores the supremacy of turbocharged vehicles on high-speed circuits. However, the subsequent switch to normally aspirated units in 1987 led to diminished performances on more technical tracks. The golden age of turbocharged engines abruptly concluded when the FIA mandated a return to normally aspirated 3.5-litre engines from the 1989 season onwards. The turbocharged vehicles faced increased restrictions, including fuel limits and pop-off valve regulations. It's also worth mentioning here that ground effects in F1 are nothing new, but they were banned until recently, as we didn't see ground effects being used again quite so obviously until the introduction of the 2022 cars. This left many fans wondering why F1 banned ground effects in the first place. Basically, ground effects were banned in F1 due to safety concerns arising from the increasing cornering speeds of cars. As cars navigated corners at higher velocities, the risk heightened when they abruptly lost the suction effect generated by the ground effect tunnels beneath the vehicle. This loss of downforce could occur relatively easily, leading to instability. Teams discovered that attaching skirts to the side of the cars was an effective method to maximize ground effect and further enhance downforce. These skirts effectively sealed off the edge of the car's floor, positioned very close to the ground, thereby preventing airflow from escaping out the sides. Consequently, the wing shapes underneath the car became highly efficient at generating downforce. However, if the skirts broke or if the car lifted significantly while traversing bumps or curbs, the seal would be compromised. This disruption would cause a rapid increase in air pressure under the car as the airflow was disturbed, rendering the tunnels ineffective. Consequently, the cars would lose almost all of their downforce instantaneously. Ground effect cars were banned in F1 in the form of various other regulation changes, namely a ban on skirts in 1981, which was then reversed in 1982, and a rule that required all cars to have flat floors from 1983. This didn't outlaw the ground effect directly, as flat floors could still make use of the ground effect, just not to the same extent as the previous generations of cars could before the bans. Another major chapter in the evolution of F1 happened in 2014 when the FIA made a significant announcement signalling a transition from the 2.4-litre V8 engines to 1.6-litre V6 hybrid power units for the 2014 Formula One season. Under the new regulations, kinetic and heat energy recovery systems were permitted. This marked a departure from the previous era, reintroducing forced induction, either turbochargers or superchargers, with all constructors opting for turbochargers. Rather than restricting boost levels, the regulations imposed a fuel flow limit of 100 kilograms of petrol per hour. The 2015 season witnessed improvements over 2014, with most engines gaining approximately 30 to 50 horsepower, 20 to 40 kilowatts, notably the Mercedes engine emerging as the most potent with 870 horsepower, 649 kilowatts. In 2019, Renault's engine was reported to have reached 1,000 horsepower in qualifying trim. Among the previous manufacturers, only Mercedes, Ferrari and Renault adhered to the new formula in 2014, with Cosworth discontinuing engine supply. Changes to the rules have had a big effect on the shape of Formula One cars over time. These changes, which are usually made to improve safety, raise competition standards, cut costs, or address environmental issues, have changed the very core of F1 engineering. And because of safety rules, for example, strong chassis designs and better cockpit security systems like the Halo device, which we'll explore in depth later on in the video, have had to be put in place. Also, because of changes in aerodynamic rules, important aerodynamic parts like front and back wings, barge boards and diffusers have had to change sizes, shapes and locations. The goal is usually to lower the downforce so there's less aerodynamic noise, which makes close racing harder. Rules about power units have led to a lot of new ideas in engine design and technology, especially with the switch to hybrid power units. Weight limits and cost-cutting measures have further changed the way cars are designed by affecting choices about materials, production methods and how long parts last. In short, the way rules work in Formula One has led to a never-ending loop of new ideas and changes that have made F1 cars into the high-performance machines we see on the track today. First of all, the modern powerhouse of Formula One, once referred to as merely an engine, is now recognised as a power unit due to its hybrid nature, comprising both a traditional petrol internal combustion engine and electric motors fueled by an energy recovery system, ERS. These units have garnered acclaim despite initial critiques regarding their subdued noise levels in comparison to the thunderous V8 and V10 engines of yesteryears. Remarkably, they stand as some of the most potent and efficient power units in the annals of Grand Prix racing. Collectively, the amalgamation of petrol and electric components yields a formidable power output hovering around 1,000 brake horsepower, a figure significantly surpassing that of conventional road cars. The petrol engine operates at a staggering 15,000 RPM, far outstripping standard automotive performance. Consequently, Formula One cars exhibit blistering acceleration, achieving 0 to 60 miles per hour in a mere 2.6 seconds and reaching top speeds nearing 230 miles per hour, contingent upon their aerodynamic configurations. Notably, when Barr, after morphing into Mercedes via Honda and Braun GP, meticulously reduced drag, their car soared to 246.9 miles per hour on the Bonneville Salt Flats in 2006. The heart of the power unit is a meticulously engineered 4-stroke 1.6-litre turbocharged V6 engine, adhering rigorously to specified dimensions and material constraints, featuring a V configuration with a 90-degree angle and 2 inlet and exhaust valves per cylinder. The turbocharger functions by employing a compressor to boost engine pressure, driven by exhaust airflow through a turbine integrated into the outlet system. Formula One cars utilise fuel compositions akin to those found in commercial blends, devoid of specific performance-enhancing additives. Presently, a minimum of 10% of the fuel composition must consist of advanced sustainable ethanol. Reportedly, these cars consume roughly 135 litres of fuel per race, marking a one-third reduction compared to the thirstier V8 engines of previous eras. The ERS operates by recuperating energy from both exhaust gases and braking maneuvers, converting it into electricity for direct propulsion by the electric motors or storage within a battery for subsequent power augmentation. The mgu-k or motor generator unit kinetic serves as a pivotal component connected to the engine crankshaft, operating as a generator during regenerative braking to recharge the battery and as a motor during drive mode to provide supplementary acceleration. The mgu-h or motor generator unit heat complements the turbocharger, functioning in tandem to regulate turbo spin. As a generator, it harnesses excess energy from the turbo, converting it into electricity for storage. Conversely, in motor mode, it sustains turbo spin during off-throttle periods, mitigating turbo lag and ensuring smooth power delivery, all while surpassing the efficiency of traditional fuel-based alternatives. Critically, electricity generated by the mgu-h can directly power the mgu-k, extending the maximum duration of electric power boost beyond the 33-second limit per lap. The mgu-k, capable of producing a maximum power of 120 kilowatts, equivalent to about 160 brake horsepower, is subject to restrictions at the start of the race to curb electric power superstarts, only being allowed for use until the car reaches 100 kilometers per hour. Power management lies in the hands of both the driver and the onboard computer. Teams craft engine maps configured to distribute electric power in various manners, enabling drivers to select between them and entrust the car to execute the chosen strategy. Several shutdown mechanisms exist for the ERS, with status lights atop the airbox indicating its operational and insulation status, glowing green when safe and red when unsafe. In a notable incident during the 2019 Bahrain Grand Prix, Daniel Ricciardo was instructed to exit his car without physical contact after the red light illuminated, signalling Renault's declaration of electrical unsafety, a rare occurrence. External starter devices are necessary to initiate the petrol engine in various settings, including the garage, pit lane and grid. Additionally, anti-stall systems are integrated into the engines to prevent engine stall during instances of drivers' loss of control. To maintain integrity and deter cheating, the FIA employs electrical DC sensors sourced exclusively from designated suppliers, which are affixed to various components of the ERS, along with a torque sensor integrated into the mgu-k. Standardization extends to the high-pressure fuel pump utilized by all cars sourced from a single supplier appointed by the FIA World Motorsport Council. Furthermore, two fuel flow meters are strategically positioned within the fuel tank to meticulously monitor flow rates to ensure compliance and monitor the operation of the petrol engine. Certified torque measurement systems are installed on the power output shaft and each drive shaft, while pressure and temperature sensors are deployed for the fuel injectors. Another example from a manufacturer that is successful now but has had a few big mistakes in the past is Honda. Honda's return to Formula One with McLaren in the early 1990s was marred by the underwhelming performance of the RA109E engine. Despite boasting impressive power output, the engine's reliability shortcomings frequently resulted in retirements and grid penalties for McLaren drivers Ayrton Senna and Gerhard Berger. The lack of reliability severely hampered McLaren's championship aspirations during this period. The Ferrari 642 was another engine that failed to produce the desired results. This engine, used in the 1991 Formula One season, featured an innovative semi-automatic gearbox system known as the F191, designed to improve gear changes and enhance performance. However, the system proved unreliable, leading to numerous gearbox failures and retirements. It isn't easy to produce an engine, as we have seen in this segment. It's a very complex system that requires meticulous planning and knowing what goes where and how each segment functions, what it contributes towards. Balancing performance, reliability and compliance with ever-evolving regulations requires meticulous engineering and testing, often stretching the limits of technological innovation. Moreover, the intense competitive environment of Formula One leaves little room for error, making the pursuit of a successful engine design an enduring and demanding endeavour for teams and manufacturers alike. The role of aerodynamic technology in Formula One has significantly impacted the sport. In the 1950s, the average lap speed of Formula One cars was around 70 miles per hour. By the 1990s, that number had risen to more than 190 miles per hour. Today, the average lap speed has risen to more than 220 miles per hour. This increase in speed has been attributed to advancements in aerodynamic technology. Aerodynamic technology has come a long way since the late 1950s when Formula One first began. Back then, the cars were relatively simple with a low power-to-weight ratio. As technology improved over the years, teams began to utilize more advanced aerodynamic technologies to increase performance. By the late 1990s, teams began to employ advanced computer-aided design, CAD tools, to help them design and analyze their aerodynamic packages. Today, Formula One car aerodynamic technology is more advanced than ever before. Teams use sophisticated wind tunnels and computational fluid dynamics, CFD, software, both of which we will delve deeper into in just a second, to simulate and analyze the performance of their cars. Advanced materials like carbon fiber and titanium are used to reduce the weight of the cars, while computer-aided design, CAD tools, are used to optimize the aerodynamic design of the vehicles. Over the years, aerodynamic technology has seen significant developments in Formula One racing. This has resulted in cars becoming faster and more efficient. For example, in the 2022 season, the fastest lap in history was set by Lewis Hamilton with an average speed of 164.286 kilometers per hour. This was made possible by using advanced aerodynamic technologies such as drag drag reduction systems, DRS, and front rear wing adjustments, FAR. In Formula One, aerodynamics plays a crucial role, like its function in road cars, minimizing drag and enhancing stability. However, the focus in F1 shifts towards generating downforce, and unlike aircraft that utilize wings for lift during takeoff by accelerating air over the wings, thus creating a low pressure zone above and a high pressure area beneath, F1 engineers reverse this concept. They design inverted wings to accelerate air beneath, resulting in lower pressure underneath and generating downforce. This downforce is pivotal in Formula One, enhancing traction for higher cornering speeds and reducing tyre wear despite the increased drag. And because of that, while supercars may outpace F1 cars in top speed, they lag significantly in cornering capability. Downforce generation in F1 primarily occurs at both the front and rear of the car, with front wings and barge bores contributing to front downforce, while the rear diffuser and wing are responsible for generating downforce at the back. However, excessive downforce can lead to increased drag, impeding straight line speed. In the past, the primary objective of the front wing in Formula One was solely to enhance downforce production. However, its role has evolved to intricately manage airflow around the entire car, ensuring optimal aerodynamics. Now, the front wing collaborates with other components to maximize overall downforce. Compromising end plates and cascades, the front wing directs airflow around the front tyres to diminish car drag. As tyre width has increased, rear curved end plates redirect air around the tyres, preventing unwanted turbulence caused by pressure differentials. Cascades, however, present a design challenge should airflow underneath the car be smooth or turbulent. The solution lies in inducing controlled turbulence with sharply pointed, finely edged front wings. These elements promote the formation of manageable vortices directed beneath the car's floor. Uncontrolled vortices, undesirable due to their drag increasing nature without adding to downforce, are mitigated by employing end plates on both front and rear wings. The resulting fast-moving vortices beneath the car effectively turn it into an inverted wing, significantly increasing downforce through ground effect with minimal drag rise. Barge boards play a dual role in smoothing airflow around side pods while enhancing ground effect. By forming a vortex seal, they optimize the airflow redirected from the front wing. Small flaps called turning vanes further amplify this effect by generating co-rotating vortices, consolidating ground effect through a vortex seal. Similarly, the rear wing employs sophisticated end plates to minimize unwanted vortices. Louvers or cutouts alleviate additional vortices generated by pressure disparities around the end plates. Rear wing configuration varies according to circuit demands, with flatter angles for high-speed tracks and steeper angles for twisty circuits where downforce is crucial. The rear diffuser plays a pivotal role in accelerating air exiting the car, thus augmenting underside downforce production. Accounting for half of the car's total downforce, the diffusers can be further enhanced through rake adjustment, tilting the car slightly upwards to compress air at the front and augment downforce. Strakes within modern diffusers create a tunnel effect, efficiently compressing and accelerating exiting air to maximize downforce production. The F1 wind tunnel plays a pivotal role in the development of Formula One cars, serving as a critical tool for achieving the delicate balance between aerodynamics and engine power. In this high-stakes arena, aerodynamics holds paramount importance, with increased downforce ensuring superior cornering grip, while minimizing drag facilitates higher speeds on the straights. So how exactly does an F1 wind tunnel function? Essentially, it serves as a validation platform, allowing teams to verify the effectiveness of ideas generated from computer simulations and analyze the performance of various design concepts, components, and upgrades. In the wind tunnel setup, the car model remains stationary while air is directed over it, mimicking the airflow encountered by the car in real-world track conditions. This is achieved by employing a substantial fan to create wind flow. Originally developed for the aerospace industry, Formula One wind tunnels have undergone significant specialization over the past 5 decades. Notably, one of the key distinctions between aerospace and motorsport wind tunnels lies in the inclusion of a moving ground in F1 wind tunnels. The component, a rapid conveyor belt moving at wind speed, simulates the relative flow between the car and the road. Unlike the actual carbon chassis of an F1 car, the wind tunnel model features a solid aluminium structure termed the spine, onto which various components can be affixed independently. This facilitates swift modifications to individual car areas without impacting others. The majority of wind tunnel model parts are produced via rapid prototyping and 3D printing, while critical components like wings are typically crafted from metal. Equipped with an array of sensors, the wind tunnel model undergoes rigorous testing, allowing engineers to gather comprehensive data. They can adjust the model's ride height and attitude during tests to simulate the car's behavior on the track very accurately. Each wind tunnel run yields copious amounts of data, aiding teams in understanding airflow dynamics and determining the visibility of design concepts or upgrades for on-track deployment. While, for example, the Mercedes wind tunnel can accommodate full-scale cars, regulatory concerns regarding cost have prompted the adoption of 60% scale models. Moreover, stringent regulations limit teams to utilizing a single wind tunnel with a maximum wind speed cap of 180 kilometers per hour, which is approximately 110 miles per hour, restricting the simulation of on-track conditions. Further constraints introduced in recent years, including limitations on testing frequency tied to constructors' championship standings, aim to level the playing field among teams. These heightened restrictions have spurred engineers to optimize testing efficiency and adapt their methodologies accordingly. Beyond the operational aspects, the wind tunnel itself features notable components, including the testing area, drive area, diffuser, settling area, and breather chiller unit, each contributing to the tunnel's functionality and accuracy of testing outcomes. Another tool closely connected to the aerodynamics development in the wind tunnel is the CFD, or computational fluid dynamics. The CFD serves as a pivotal computer-based simulation tool in predicting the circulation of fluids and gases over a vehicle's surface, particularly vital for deciphering its aerodynamic behavior on the track. By leveraging CFD, designers can meticulously test and refine their designs without resorting to costly wind tunnel testing, thus saving both time and financial resources. At its core, CFD operates by partitioning the air enveloping the vehicle into minute cells and applying mathematical equations to anticipate the behavior of each cell. These equations encapsulate various factors like air pressure, temperature, and turbulence, offering designers an intricate understanding of airflow dynamics around different parts of the car and their impact on performance. CFD empowers teams to craft cars with unparalleled precision, dissecting even the minutest details of the vehicle's bodywork and components to ensure optimal performance. This precision is challenging to attain through conventional methods. Undoubtedly, CFD's role in enhancing aerodynamics is monumental, with ramifications extending to top speeds, cornering capabilities, and overall lap times. By dissecting airflow patterns over the car's bodywork and components, teams can pinpoint areas of high and low pressure, thereby enhancing downforce, minimizing drag, and fine-tuning performance. When used properly, CFD emerges as a formidable tool for scrutinizing aerodynamic intricacies across complex F1 bodies and various conditions. It grants engineers a virtual understanding of intricate designs, facilitating swift and cost-effective optimization while sticking to FIA regulations. While CFD offers undeniable benefits, the FIA has imposed restrictions on its usage. These limitations stem from disparities in resources among teams, with larger outfits backed by substantial financial backing enjoying a distinct advantage in investing in the requisite hardware and software for CFD simulations. To maintain fairness, the FIA implemented regulations to level the playing field, ensuring equitable competition within the sport. Despite these regulations, differences persist between larger and smaller teams. Notably, while there are constraints on the use of CFD itself, there are no such limitations on the software employed for simulations. This creates a disparity, allowing wealthier teams to exploit loopholes within the regulatory framework by investing more in CFD software and hardware, thereby gaining a competitive edge. Another innovation in improving the aerodynamics of an F1 car is the drag reduction system, or DRS. The DRS was first introduced in Formula 1 in 2011 with the aim of spicing up races by facilitating overtaking opportunities. As aerodynamic advancements in F1 cars made passing increasingly difficult, the FIA introduced DRS as a strategic tool to level the playing field. DRS is essentially a movable mechanism integrated into the rear wing of Formula 1 cars, designed to reduce drag and boost straight-line speed. However, its usage is not unrestricted. It's only allowed in specific zones on the track and under certain conditions. To activate DRS, a chasing driver must be within 1 second of the car in front as they cross a designated DRS detection point on the track, strategically positioned before the DRS activation zone. Meeting this criteria prompts the rear wing flap on the pursuing car to open, reducing aerodynamic drag and providing a substantial speed advantage. DRS activation zones are strategically placed on straight sections of the track, following very tight corners where overtaking opportunities are more feasible. These zones vary from circuit to circuit, adding an element of unpredictability to each race. While DRS offers a significant advantage to the chasing driver, utilizing it effectively demands skill and strategy. Activating DRS prematurely could lead to a failed overtaking attempt, while delaying activation might allow the defending driver to fend off the challenge. Consequently, DRS adds an extra dimension of excitement, strategy, and tension to Formula 1 races. Since its introduction, DRS has profoundly influenced the dynamics of Formula 1 races, resulting in more overtaking maneuvers, intensified on-track battles, and heightened spectator engagement. The journey of Formula 1 aerodynamics has been remarkable. Beginning with low drag and high downforce, the sport has seen a major evolution to the advanced aerodynamics of modern Formula 1 cars. This has greatly impacted the design of F1 cars, leading to increased speed and improved performance. This technology is essential to the success of Formula 1 and will stay that way for years. And as the sport progresses, aerodynamic technology will drive the design of F1 cars and deliver better performance. Tyres are the only parts of a Formula 1 car that touch the ground, but what are the different compounds and what do they do? Let's find out. Throughout the history of Grand Prix racing, tyres have held a pivotal role in clinching victories, serving as the sole connection between the vehicle and the track. And it's this integral link that channels all the engineering abilities into concrete performance on the road, a fact that underscores their significance. Despite the advancements in Formula One technology over time, the core challenge surrounding tyres has remained largely consistent since the inception of the World Championship in 1950, optimizing grip and cornering speed while managing tyre wear. Regarding Formula One tyre compounds, they denote the hardness or softness of the rubber used, adding a crucial variable to the equation. During dry weather conditions, drivers have the choice between soft, medium and hard compounds, distinguished by their red, yellow and white markings respectively, and we'll get to explaining these in just a second. Additionally, there are specialized compounds for wet conditions such as full wet for intense rain and intermediate for partially wet tracks. These compounds are exclusively supplied by the Italian manufacturer Pirelli, which has been the sole provider for Formula One since 2011, following periods of competition among various manufacturers in the past. As previously mentioned, the primary challenge with tyres is to maximize grip while ensuring durability over a reasonable time frame. If tyres offer exceptional handling but degrade quickly, they become ineffective for winning races. Rapid tyre wear leads to compromised handling and an increased risk of blowouts, necessitating earlier pit stops. Minimizing pit stops is crucial for maintaining competitive advantage, regardless of the car's initial performance on fresh tyres, and therefore tyre performance in Formula One is always a delicate balance between speed and longevity. Teams must decide how to adjust this balance with the available tyre compounds. The soft tyres offer the highest speed but are prone to quicker wear compared to harder compounds. The medium tyres are a sort of a compromise. They're slower than soft tyres but faster than hard tyres, and they typically last longer than soft tyres but not as long as hard tyres. And the hard tyres provide the least grip as they're designed for extended durability, prioritizing longevity over performance. Beyond this baseline allocation, there are additional intricacies to navigate, including provisions for wet weather tyres and variations in allocation for weekends featuring sprint formats. Complicating matters even further, drivers are mandated to return 2 sets following each of the 3 practice sessions, leaving only 7 sets available for qualifying and the race. Additionally, drivers must reserve at least 1 set of soft tyres for potential use in the Q3 session, returning it after qualifying if unused, or retaining it for the race if they advance. Adding to the strategic calculus, regulations stipulate that drivers must utilise at least 2 different slick compounds during fully dry races, necessitating at least 1 pit stop. However, drivers retain the flexibility to make multiple tyre changes if strategically advantageous and if an adequate number of sets have been preserved during practice and qualifying. For wet weather conditions, each driver has access to an allocation of 4 sets of intermediate tyres and 3 sets of full wet tyres. During sprint race weekends, the allocation of dry sets is reduced to 12, and drivers are obligated to use soft tyres throughout qualifying, and following the sprint race, drivers must return the set with which they completed the most laps during this abbreviated race format. This is why in Formula One, 2 key temperatures, air temperature and track temperature, hold significant influence, although they are distinct phenomena. On a clear, sunny day, both air and track temperatures will rise concurrently. However, with the arrival of cloud cover, the air temperature swiftly drops, while the track retains its heat over an extended duration, cooling down gradually. Track surfaces with varying materials exhibit different heat absorption rates, with those featuring higher levels of bitumen, for instance, darkening and absorbing sunlight more readily, consequently heating up more rapidly. Temperature fluctuations impact various components of the car, but none more so than the tyres, which are particularly sensitive to track temperature. The track temperature directly affects tyre pressure, subsequently influencing grip levels and degradation rates. Drivers also, of course, play a crucial role in managing tyre temperatures through their driving style, particularly by pushing harder in high-speed corners to generate heat in the tyres. During a race, if track temperature undergoes substantial changes, drivers employ various strategies to adapt. Apart from modulating their tyre pushing intensity, they may adjust their driving lines to suit the car's balance, tweak the differential to regulate torque transfer between the rear wheels, or fine-tune the brake balance between the front and rear of the car. The role of the track layout in tyre strategy manifests in various ways. If overtaking is challenging and the likelihood of being stuck behind slower cars is high, teams may opt for more pit stops to keep their drivers on a clear track, avoiding time loss behind competitors. Additionally, at tracks with close walls, where incidents may prompt a safety car deployment, teams may plan for more pit stops since tyre changes incur relatively little time loss compared to competitors navigating the track at reduced speeds. As we've already discussed, Pirelli provides soft, medium and hard compounds for each Formula One weekend, tailored to the characteristics of the circuit. However, Pirelli manufactures a total of 5 dry compounds for the entire season, ranging from C1, the hardest, to C5, the softest. From this range, Pirelli selects 3 compounds to nominate for each specific Grand Prix weekend. For instance, if a track is particularly abrasive or experiences high temperatures, Pirelli may opt for a harder range of tyres as a safety and marketing precaution to mitigate the risk of blowouts and negative publicity stemming from excessive tyre wear. In this scenario, Pirelli might designate the C1, C2 and C3 compounds for use. Selecting the right tyre type is a strategic art. Teams factor in data-driven insights, track temperature, race distance, and even weather forecasts to make informed decisions. Soft tyres could be the obvious choice for qualifying, giving drivers the grip they need for rapid lap times. However, the race strategy might involve starting on mediums or hards to extend stints and minimize pit stops. By analyzing real-time tyre data, teams could gauge the degradation rate on each compound, helping them choose the optimal tyre for unpredictable track conditions and maximize their chances in the race. F1 isn't just about fast driving, it's also about harnessing technology to gain a competitive edge. Utilizing cutting-edge technology ranging from data analytics to artificial intelligence and machine learning, Formula One teams employ state-of-the-art methods to analyze extensive data sets, a task unfeasible for drivers to manage while on the track. Transitioning from the era of manual transmissions in yesterday's cars to today's Formula One vehicles outfitted with sophisticated computer systems linked to centralized data repositories represents a significant evolution in the sport. Consequently, each F1 car now consumes approximately 40 B of data per race, sourced from numerous sensors attached to the vehicle, as well as external telemetry sources like onboard cameras and radio transmissions. The progression of racing technology has reached a stage where Formula One cars can be monitored in real time, offering drivers and their teams enhanced insights into their performance. This instantaneous data feedback empowers F1 teams to fine-tune their vehicles for optimal speed and efficiency, thereby enhancing the driver's experience and delivering a more thrilling race. Through the integration of advanced technologies, including sophisticated data analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, Formula One teams harness harness vast data resources to optimize the racing experience. These sensors that we mentioned earlier are hundreds, capturing thousands of data points throughout each race, and this real-time data monitoring serves multiple purposes, including performance enhancement, adjustment of the car's settings, and even forecasting the race's trajectory. Real-time data holds paramount importance in F1 racing, providing drivers with crucial performance insights, enabling them to make split-second adjustments that can tip the scales in their favor against competitors. Utilizing onboard computers, F1 teams vigilantly monitor various performance metrics such as engine temperature, suspension settings, and tire pressures throughout each race. Moreover, the integration of advanced driver assistance systems, ADAS, facilitates the evolution of driver performance metrics like reaction times and cornering speeds. With each F1 car seamlessly connected to over 500 IoT devices, a comprehensive suite of sensors continuously monitors critical performance parameters such as tire pressure and fuel consumption. This data-rich environment yields an impressive collection of up to 10,000 individual data points per second, enabling teams to conduct thorough analysis and make informed decisions in real time, facilitated by high-speed wireless networks and cutting-edge technologies such as 5G and satellite connectivity. The transmission of these data points occurs instantaneously through a telemetry system, offering teams the capability to track their car's performance directly on the track. Teams leverage this real-time data stream to inform critical decisions regarding race strategy, adjustments to vehicle setups, and providing driver coaching. The cars are equipped with sophisticated cooling systems, including water-cooled radiators, oil coolers, and heat exchangers, alongside active aerodynamic devices like air intake horns and air splitters. In tandem with performance gains, F1 is committed to sustainability initiatives with research into alternative fuels and energy sources, materials recycling, and increased utilization of renewable energy. This commitment ensures F1's longevity while reducing its environmental impact. F1's technological advancements extend beyond racing, influencing industries such as air travel and artificial intelligence. The sport's focus on efficiency, safety, and sustainability sets a benchmark for technical innovation. Let us show you a couple of examples of data-driven practices in F1. During the 2020 Bahrain Grand Prix, Romain Grosjean had a terrible crash, out of which he thankfully escaped without major injuries. But this event underscored the potency of data in fortifying safety protocols and propelling ongoing advancements within the sport. F1 immediately leveraged data analysis from the incident to refine future safety measures, exemplifying its commitment to continual improvement. F1 teams cleverly harness data from past situations to optimize forthcoming outcomes, drawing upon a robust data landscape encompassing insights from drivers, vehicles, and diverse sources. Let's take, for example, the reigning world champion and possibly the best driver on the grid at the moment, Max Verstappen. His path to where he is now epitomizes the profound impact of data-driven decision-making within the sport. Recruited at only 17 years old, even before obtaining a driver's license, Verstappen's meteoric ascent owes much to the data-driven environment that nurtured his talents. Under the stewardship of Red Bull, Verstappen was put in a simulator at the age of 14, spending 3 formative years refining his skills within a virtual environment before transitioning to real-world racing. Verstappen's subsequent triumphs on the track were the product of meticulous data-driven training and development that mitigated the risks associated with his relative inexperience. However, Verstappen's victories are not solitary achievements. They embody the collective efforts of over 1,500 individuals constituting the Red Bull team. The future of technology in Formula One is very exciting. The teams are constantly working on new and innovative ways to improve their cars and their performance, because F1 is a sport that is always evolving, and that's one of the best things about it. As fans, we're very much looking forward to each season, because the sport is more than just racing. It's about everything modern and innovative that it has to bring, be it in technology or car design. And that's exactly why this is the premier motorsport racing, and will continue to be with decades to come. When Formula One started in 1950, cars prioritised speed over safety, lacking basic protections like helmets, crash barriers, or even medical support. And it was not until 1960 that there were initial safety regulations introduced, prompted by the tragic loss of as many as 13 drivers. Despite improvements in car handling and performance, safety regulations lagged behind. While measures like fireproof clothing and reinforced cockpits were introduced, fatal crashes remained frequent in the 1960s and 70s, and the prevailing sentiment during this era viewed danger as integral to Formula One's attraction. However, drivers dissatisfied with this mindset protested against the FIA, prompting significant reforms, including mandatory on-track medical services, enhanced safety gear standards, and circuit layout improvements. These reforms drastically reduced casualties in the 1980s compared to the previous decade, but nonetheless, the tragic deaths in 1994 of Roland Ratzenberger and Ayrton Senna led to renewed safety efforts as safety became paramount, resulting in speed reduction and crash protection enhancements. The passing of Jules Bianchi in 2014, the first fatality since Senna's, prompted the introduction of the virtual safety car regulation, mandating immediate speed reduction in the event of an on-track incident. Undoubtedly, Formula One cars stand as some of the most technologically advanced machines globally, boasting cutting-edge engineering, enabling them to achieve staggering speeds on the track. However, despite their remarkable features, these high-performance vehicles remain susceptible to the devastating repercussions of crashes. This is where the HANS device emerges as a crucial component, offering a vital layer of protection to drivers in the event of an accident. The HANS, short for head and neck support, was introduced to mitigate the effects of extreme G-forces and the dangers of severe head and neck injuries, such as basilar skull fractures. Following the tragic losses of Ayrton Senna and Roland Ratzenberger in 1994, the FIA expressed interest in the device, leading to its introduction in Formula One in 2003 after extensive testing by Mercedes from 1996 to 1998. Credited with saving numerous lives, including Robert Kubica during his dramatic crash at the 2007 Canadian Grand Prix. Safety has become the most important thing in Formula One nowadays. The amount of testing that every part of the car undergoes is rigorous, and every piece must complete the test in order to be cleared and implemented in the car. The section of the vehicle encompassing the driver, commonly referred to as the monocoque, stands as a paramount safety feature solely dedicated to safeguarding the driver in the event of an accident. Crafted from carbon fiber, an exceptionally lightweight yet resilient material, the monocoque is nearly impervious to damage. The construction instills drivers with confidence to push the limits of speed, assured of their safety even in the event of a crash. The primary function of the survival cell is to shield the driver from external forces and prevent protruding objects from breaching the car's integrity during accidents. Another crucial safety feature in Formula One cars is the halo, constructed from titanium and encased in lightweight carbon fiber. Despite weighing merely 12 pounds, it can support an astonishing 26,455 pounds. Manufacturers have fortified vehicle chassis to withstand stress on the halo locator bolts. Recognized as the sturdiest segment of a race car, the halo serves to shield the driver's head from airborne debris or objects, mitigating the risk of impact. Its robust design can endure forces far surpassing those encountered by a Formula One vehicle engineered to accommodate increased speeds. Fire poses a significant hazard in Formula One racing, with accidents often triggering flames that complicate driver extraction. Marshals face increased challenges in reaching drivers, given the flammability of F1 fuel and the intense heat generated during races. Preventing fuel leakage or ignition is paramount to driver safety. Modern Formula One cars are equipped with fuel tanks constructed from military-grade Kevlar, reinforced with rubber to resist leaks or ignition from heat exposure. Kevlar's robust yet pliable nature makes it an ideal choice for F1 fuel tanks, ensuring driver safety in the event of a fire. The safety of being a Formula One driver has come a long way since its inception in 1950, because back then it was acceptable that you might lose your life at the price of winning a race, because people were used to it because of the atrocities of the Second World War. But as time went on, safety started drastically improving to the point that we've now had only one death in Formula One in the past 30 years, and it's still a process that undergoes changes and improvements all the time. The technology and science in Formula One constantly evolve and will keep on evolving with decades to come, because that's simply the nature of the sport. We will constantly get new upgrades in the engines and new safety measures, which will ensure that the driver, once they sit in the cockpit, are as safe as they can be, and even more than that. There will also be more and more innovators in the field of engine development and aerodynamics, as it is still a process that has room for development, with many points that can be improved. This technology has a major impact on the sport, as it allows not only for the drivers to feel comfortable in the car, but it also lets the viewer get themselves immersed in the experience of a Formula One race day, as they follow it in real time with almost no delay, thanks to the massively improving 5G technology and satellite transmission. We're looking forward to seeing the future of Formula One in the next few years, as it's almost certain that we will bear witness to many other new technological advancements and improvements that will make F1 a better sport than it is even today. Thank you for watching today's video. We hope you enjoyed it. If so, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.